Ooh, I made a right pig's ear of that landing. Hello, 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 welcome back to the Four Worlds. There's the Dwarvish Kingdom, the Elvish Kingdom, the Villagers Kingdom, and the Pillagers Kingdom. And I'm over here because we spent a lot of time over our monument the last few episodes, but this time I want to get some building, and we want to build in the pillager area. So we've had our prison for the villagers, the prison tower, the guard tower, and the fortress back there, and this time we're going to work down there because I've realized pillagers need weapons if they're going to have their war against the villagers, and so we're going to have a weapons factory over there. But first we are going to stop back in at the monument because I want to show you all the work that I've been doing over here. Got everything that we need for a perfect bow, full diamond armor, swords and axes, a shovel, a pick, and even a hoe. And yeah, we've even got all the enchantments that you would need to make perfect armor. So the first thing that I wanted to do was to get myself from scratch perfect armor, perfect tools, perfect weapons, and see how long it takes me just using the fish to start off getting emeralds and then to build up all of the necessary armor and everything. So I'm going to do that, see how long it takes me, settle into a time lapse. All perfect armor. Let's clothe ourselves, and we can see lovely shiny. We fully upgraded our tridents. We've got smite and fortune axes, we've got silk touch and sharpness axes, we've got sharpness and smiters and all sorts of things. We've got fortune and silk touch pickaxes, and I just wanted to see how long it would take to do all of this, including a fishing rod, and it took about an hour, and most of that actually was just trying to get levels and emeralds from these guys. That's great. I feel like we're ready to go and do our build, and as promised, over here in the pillager area, just past the pig's head and down from the fortress, right in here, we're going to build our factory, and it is going to be a weapons factory because I have all the weapons, but yeah, the pillagers are going to need some, so we're going to put a factory here and make it look kind of functional. It'll mostly be for decoration. So first we're going to need to clear out the area. Chopping is so much better with efficiency 5. So I have cleared off an area. I think it'll be big enough, and we've done quite a lot of collection of resources. We've got lots of deep slate and firing arrows, and some wood, and over here we've got some cobble, which we'll be using. So yeah, and some campfires which we'll be using for our build to decorate. So yeah, let's get rid of the enemy guys and then start building. And here I am in spectator mode, and you can see that I've laid out the plan for our building. It's going to go down into the hill a little bit, but this is going to be the plan. This is the front doors. There'll be 2 sets of doors, and I really like double doors, but that's always hard when you're trying to build a build with an odd number of blocks, so everything can be symmetrical. So that's why I've got 2 sets of double doors, so we can keep the symmetry. And this side over here is going to be where the iron is collected, smelted in here, and then made into weapons on this side. Got some fun ideas for how to animate that. So let's build this up, get the walls up. So I've built up the central wall and the chimneys here, and that's really what this build is focused around. And there's going to be 3 of these chimneys, which are used to melt down all the iron that's coming from our iron farm, and we're going to see how that's accomplished with the pillagers there. But yeah, now we need to build up the surrounding walls and the roof. And now the walls are done, and it's starting to come together. So we'll get a roof on this bad boy. Okay, outside done, and feeling pretty happy with it. You see it from a distance. It looks very pillagery and squat factory. Squat, short, close to the ground, not difficult to build. Love the double doors. Look kind of like a face, but yeah, here we go. We'll get up close and you can see there are some details. So the arches with the trapdoors, we've got these bounding wood, and then some details pulled out in the deep slate. And inside, and are you ready? Ta-da! Here is the floor, some well-worn areas. Then there's stone and stuff close to the floor. And you see these slabs? These slabs are not what there is. These slabs are buckets. Yeah, so we're going to have 3 buckets, 1 for each station. And then there are different stations because this is a weapons factory. It's not an automated factory, it's one just where workers work really hard. So we're going to get the interior set up now, so that that's a weird texture glitch. Anyway, what are we doing? Yes, we're going to get the interior set up so that hopefully it tells the story of how this factory is working. So yeah, let's do that. Alright, and we are pretty much all done now. I'm walking through a tunnel which actually goes all the way to our iron farm, and the iron gets pulled over here into our factory. Big store of iron to pull from. And I'm trying to tell a story here. So they use these levers to pull the hoppers that we're using to transport the iron around, and so you can see this one's been pulled all the way this way, and the hoppers down in this minecart where the workers load it with iron, and then they pull it up and they send it across into the flames. And we've got one over here it's actually in the flames, it's being smelted, so the iron's melting down. And then on this side, pull these levers, get the hoppers all the way over here, and actually use this to pour the liquefied iron into these molds that are made for, in this case, swords and axe heads and things. And then over here you can see we've got ones that are cooling slowly, and then ones that are cooled and are actually ready, so they go in the water and then put over here to harden. And then once they're made, we've got all the different kinds of weapons, arrowheads and things that have been made from these molds. So yeah, that's the story. Need to get some pillagers in here to provide some life for it, but I'm really quite pleased with how this works out, the story it tells. And out here we need to do a little bit of terraforming because it doesn't look very nice. The building looks great but doesn't really look part of the scenery yet, and so we'll terraform this. And what I want to do is get a path that will run from here and all the way up to the fortress, but also all the way down to some wooden defences and a little port area to kind of match what the dwarves have here, but in no way as good. So I'll work on that. But we're going to finish off today's episode by populating the factory. Off she goes, and here is Lucy, who's going to be our first worker. And there we are, she's currently loading the coal, and yeah, there she goes over to the furnace. So thank you for joining me on this factory build. I'm looking forward to being with you next time when we'll finish off the platforms around the pillager area and look at some more builds in the villager area. Bye!